Good day, everybody. Welcome to another episode. Glad to have you with us today. Today, I'd like to tell you a story about a man, a basketball coach named Don Meyer. Now, even those well into basketball circles might not know Coach Meyer. Coach Meyer, when he retired from coaching at Northern State in South Dakota, actually was the all-time leader in NCAA coaching wins across all levels, surpassing Bobby Knight. What's also really interesting about Coach Meyer is that in his final years of coaching, he was coaching with terminal stomach cancer. Without one leg, he was in a wheelchair as a result of a devastating car accident that he was involved in. And Coach Meyer actually was awarded the Jimmy V Award for his fight and courage in the face of terminal cancer. Now, Coach Meyer's first job was at Hamline University in St. Paul, Minnesota, where I ended up playing my college basketball. And one of the individuals that he coached was an individual named Tim Muir, my coach. Coach Meyer, even though it was his first go-round, had very specific beliefs on culture and how to go and structure an atmosphere where players in the team can strive to common goals and develop the skills that were required to be able to be successful on and off the court. And one of the quotes that really hit me from Coach Meyer is regarding complacency and mediocrity. Complacency is one of the devils of alignment. When people, employees, lose a little bit of interest in being able to go and strive above the bar to be able to go and meet the needs of the mission and vision, mediocrity goes and comes forth. And here is the specific quote from Coach Meyer. Complacency is the forerunner of mediocrity. You can never work too hard on attitudes, effort, and technique. Attitude, effort, and technique. On the basketball court, that's very specific. Are you coming with a positive attitude, wanting to get better, wanting to serve your teammates? Are you putting in the right effort, energy, but also are you doing things the right way? What's really interesting is that Coach Muir, one of his big talking points almost every practice was doing your work beforehand. Getting your feet set properly, hands out, ready to go and catch a basketball so you can be able to pass, shoot, or dribble to the basket. The same happens in the workplace. Do you have the right attitude towards the mission and vision that you are going to come in every single day doing everything you can to be able to fulfill the tenets of that mission and vision and the strategic plan? Are you going to come in with the right effort, the energy level to be able to do what's needed to effectively support customers, whether they be internal or external? And technique. I think this gets lost a lot in our world because, one, we need to be able to empower people to use their own technique, but there are core fundamentals, foundations of technique of running an aligned organization that are transferable across, and that when used at a high level in high stress environments, especially like we talked about last week, the technique, the foundations can be used to be able to go and innovate, do some new things based on the situation because you know you have the structures that you've practiced on the technique that you can lean on, that you don't need to create on the spot in stressful times. This quote means a lot to me as I go and lead, whether it's I coach basketball or as I work with clients on organizational alignment. Now, here's some things that you as a leader can do to try and make certain that the great things that are being done and have been done surrounding alignment to mission and vision don't get dropped down into mediocrity because of complacency, which, to be honest, is somewhat of a natural trait. Humans want to be able to do sometimes just enough to be able to get by. They might not have the energy that day, or they say, oh, we could do this without doing this or that. We can cut a little corner here or there. It's not going to make a difference. But the thing is, compared to other organizations that you compete against or work with, those little things are the difference between being ordinary and being spectacular. Between not quite getting your mission and vision and really hitting the mark. Now, as a top-level leader, you can't have your eyes on every single team and every single individual to make sure that they're bringing that attitude, effort, and technique. You depend on leaders that report to you. So the first thing that you can do is to instill a process with those leaders whereby they are connecting with what's going on in the organization. Are there kinks in the armor? Are there gaps in alignment that may need to be addressed? But also, are there the stories of alignment and mission-driven behavior that can be reinforced and celebrated? For when you go and ask the leaders who report to you for this type of feedback in these stories, you are impressing upon them that this is a level of performance that you expect out of them, and you are inspecting it. Inspecting what you expect helps provide clarity to not only those leaders that report to you, but all the ones that report to them. This is the measuring bar. And it's not just that certain things were done and checked off the box, but they were done with the right attitude, the proper amount of effort and technique that can be used and leveraged for projects to come. And as you go and get those types of stories, it will also go and help across teams with common frequency and language. And you can bring that up to your superiors and have that cascade through where alignment is maintained and strengthened. That leads to the second thing that you can do. Even though leaders that report to you are keeping a keen eye and a keen ear on the workings of the machinery, you want to be involved in that as well. You're not going around those that report to you. You're building that specific connection with these individuals, finding out what interests them, where they want to be, what their possibilities are, where the strengths of your organization really lie, and the energy that happens to be there, that you can work with leaders on being able to develop and utilize. And because you have theoretically more experience than these other leaders, you can hear things subtle, see things subtly. For when you are aligned and you go and minimize and tamp down complacency, it's actually pretty easy to maintain the alignment. Little tweaks here and there, reinforcement of the core principles of alignment and the mission. Connecting with those individuals to make sure if they are getting a little complacent, what is that's going on? Is there something going on at home? Something going on with the work that you might be able to go and assist with? If you are able to help them out of that tough time and get them towards an area of greater effort and attitude, they trust you more. So that leads to the third item. And that's having the emotional intelligence to be able to understand when grace is needed and the long-term view of being able to go and help individuals, processes, what it happens to be, out of the tough times with the goal of we need to get back here. We understand that this is natural, but what are we going to be able to do together to be able to go and get back up to and above the bar of expectations of alignment? So you as a leader need to go and check your own complacency as well. It's not the easiest thing to do to constantly go and look at each one of these cultural factors. But that consistent and intentional work pays off so well because you are engaging in the proper technique to be able to keep driving an aligned organization. Thanks for taking the time to listen, and for those that are on YouTube watching, we really appreciate it. Stay tuned for next week. We'll come up with another great episode. Again, in the coming weeks, we'll have some great interviews. One with Beth Zemsky, a marvelous social justice leader, and Glenn Gunderson, CEO of YMCA of the North, up here in Minnesota. We'll be talking about alignment through these tough times with COVID. As you know, health clubs, and especially nonprofit like them that depend on the money from the health clubs to be able to go and deliver on their mission. It'll be really interesting talking with Glenn to find out how he's been able to go and maintain alignment to mission and vision while being able to go and tackle these very difficult times for him and the organization. Keep sending in some of those questions to be able to let me know what's going on in your world. We've gotten a couple that I think we'll put into next month to be able to go and address. Have yourself a marvelous week. I look forward to being with you again soon. Cheers.